So nice to see everybody. Welcome. Go ahead, have a seat on the floor, cross your shins. Place the hands on your thighs, lift the spine up. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Press your hands down again, and when you lift your spine this time, think about from the very base, front side of the sacral plate, lifting up across the front of the low back, mid back, upper back, all the way up through your neck. Remember, the neck is a part of the spine, so you lift through that point. One of my teachers would say, imagine at the crown of your head, there was like a line, and someone was pulling that line up. But that line should be hooked all the way to the base of the sacral plate, so you're lifting all the spine. Drop the shoulders. You don't need your shoulders up to keep your spine up. Just let your hands rest on your thighs or in your lap for a moment. Breathe. Take a moment to reflect on the things that have been catalyst for changes in your day. Maybe the alarm clock went off. That changed your sleep. And just recognize how you may have felt about those catalysts, those changes when they happened. If you're like me, like the first catalyst, the alarm goes off, I'm just mad at myself that I even said it. But I was in total control of setting. Recognize any other catalysts that come up for you and any other feelings or thoughts you might have about those catalysts. Someone called that you didn't want to hear from. The noises that you heard through the day, or whatever was a catalyst for change in your day. Whether it was negative, maybe the alarm for me, or positive. Think of the big ones first. Then what were even some of the smaller ones that caught your attention, that made you move or shift differently in the world? And then even maybe the tiniest ones. Even in the room right now, if you hear something, does it draw your attention away? Does it encourage you to act or move in a different way than what is just to be still for a moment? I often like to say that yoga is a chance to look at everything we've been through. Even if it doesn't, the things we go through aren't even the depth, like their importance is not by how big of an impact of change or things that's happened in our life, but that things have an impact or effect on us in our life. That certain noises I hear, even if they're not present right next to me, create a reaction in me. And if we gain that awareness, ultimately we gain the ability to start changing the effect it has on us. So take a minute and reflect on all the catalysts, or any of them. Just see them and see how you reacted and see how you felt about them. Don't judge, don't critique. This isn't, oh man, I wish I hadn't said this, or I'm embarrassed that I said that. Just note that if that was true, that was true. But recognize, begin to kind of take scope of all the things that affect you throughout the day. From the very first moment you awake from sleep to the moment you go to bed, till the next sunrise. Because the more we are on this path of yoga, and I think asana is such a great teacher of this, that asana shows us how much we are physically, how our muscles feel, how the nerves feel, how feeling good in the physical body makes us feel emotionally. And like I've said in the last few weeks of classes, are you aware of the 5 senses you have and how you're taking in stuff through that affects you? So as we go through the practice tonight, my friends, it will not be to reflect just on the past catalysts or things that created change for us, But can you let the poses be kind of practice for effect? Can you feel how the movement of your hip or your back or the stuff creates not just stretch, but awareness in those parts of your body that the moment before may not have been? Because when you have that awareness, when you practice feeling, seeing, sensing that part of yourself, you'll become more aware of the things that happen in your life that affect change on you, that you may not even have noticed. And ultimately then get that ability to react totally with awareness in how you want in the world, that nothing will just be left up to instinct or reaction. And we will perform good action. Action that afterwards we can at least feel we made the right choice for, with all the information and knowledge of ourselves that we had. Bring the palms together at the chest, thumbs touching the sternum. We'll Om shortly 3 times, then begin. Take a breath. Oh. 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 Bow your head. Salute the essence of yoga inside yourself. Bring your hands into your lap. Let your head rise and your eyes open. Nice. See some people snuck in. So welcome. Cool. Grab grab a block and a yoga strap. The look Tristan just gave me, oh, we are not doing that. Grab a block and yoga strap, lay on your back, put the block under your right thigh, close to your thigh, right up in your thigh. The block will be flat to the floor. You lay flat, slide the block under. Don't let's sit on it and fall backward. That would be silly. So the block is flat right in your right thigh. So you can press your right thigh down into the block, hook the strap around your left foot, stretch the leg up. No, I want the block. Just so for those of you worried, oh my God, how much more of this do we have to do? Maybe Thursday, then we'll be done. We'll see. Push the right thigh down into the block. Remember, when you press your right thigh down, it's not about lifting your hip up. We're trying to not engage the back muscle, but to make the legs stronger, to lift, to extend, so we can lift and extend the spine better. A lot of postural, a lot of opening the back through the pelvis, so forth. Now, as you stretch your left leg up, pull on the strap, get a little flex to it, push the right thigh down more, make this leg that's on the block, flatten that block, and then let go of this, keep the strap on the foot, just don't pull with your hands so you feel the left thigh flex. So now you feel both legs being at their strongest. And then grab the strap, pull on it again. Pull yourself a little deeper, but keeping that flex of the left thigh. So you're getting the greater part of stretch to that hamstring. And you're starting to wake up the muscles of the leg that's going to be needed for the standing work. Good. Go ahead, bring your left thigh down, move the block underneath it. Push your left thigh down into the block, hook the strap around your right foot, stretch the leg up. Push that left thigh down, pull on the right thigh with the strap, stretch that hamstring open. Once you feel the stretch into the right leg, push the left thigh more into the block and continue to press it into the block the whole time. Stop pulling on the strap as hard, but try to pull your right thigh deeper into the pose on its own strength. So the thigh muscle itself is helping lift it and extend it. Then you can grab the strap and hold the deeper stretch, but try to practice keeping both muscle sets flexed. Go ahead, bring your left leg down. Slide the block under your right thigh again, please. Set your yoga strap off to the side. You won't need it. Press your right thigh down into the block. Move your yoga strap off to the side again. Continue to press the right thigh down into the block the whole time. Draw your left knee to your body, taking your left hand to the inside of the foot, grabbing the arch of the foot. Push your right thigh down, keep it there. Pick your left foot up just above the left knee. Pull, bending the left elbow, pulling the knee down towards the floor, open the groin. And then notice how much your right thigh wants to pop up or disengage. Re-engage it. Okay. Notice on your right thigh, do your toes and knee want to turn out? And can you continue to turn the right thigh internally? Even if you don't know where your foot leg is, get some awareness, look at it, feel it, and start to ask it to move so that you get that inner thigh rotation that helps widen the backside of the hip a little bit, helps low back a lot. Now, keep your right thigh in the game. Push your left foot against your left hand, but don't let your knee go up that much. Point the foot, flex that thigh so the hand and leg are resisting each other, and then stretch the leg out a little bit where you start to pull the foot with your arm like it was going to go not out to the side, but towards your left shoulder. The more you push the foot against the hand, the leg will straighten a little, but it's not from the knee popping up. It's from your strength of your leg pushing the foot against the hand. So the hamstring has to lengthen. Notice how much your left leg wants to go out away from your left shoulder. It would be better for what we're doing if you bend the knee a little bit and pull the knee and leg closer to the shoulder and then stretch it a little. Try not to let the leg run away from you. But then notice where the right thigh goes. How much more you have to work that right quad to even begin to hold it on the block. Or if I could come by and slide the block out from underneath your leg. I'm very pleased you could not move that block. We can do it like we did back in the yoga studios. If I pull the block out, you all have to hold it longer. So hope for Tristan. She held it, you're good. Bend the left knee, put the foot on the floor, stretch the leg out, slide the block to the other side. Part of the reason, again, for using the block under the straight leg is I know we've all been in classes, I've taught classes where it was asked to push the thigh down to the floor. Well, for a lot of us, it's hard to unengage the knee. And while this doesn't exactly touch your thigh to the floor, pull your right knee to your chest, right hand grabs the arch, put the foot up, pull down on that knee. And even though the thigh doesn't touch the floor, we want to try and start to give the muscles that get the benefit of that some of their feeling. We're feeling what it's like for the back and the leg and the thigh to work together in a way, instead of having to over worry about your knee and over worry about your hip popping up. You notice when you press that left thigh down, that hip doesn't go very many places. It stabilizes the hip and back. So push the thigh down more, pull down on that right knee, stretch the groin. Push the right foot against the hand. Like you're trying to stretch from the leg, but don't let the leg swing out. Only push against the hand that the leg lengthens a little bit, but doesn't swing out farther to the right. You're bringing the right leg towards the right shoulder almost. It will not lay on top of it one day. Like there's not a lot of pose work where you're in that full action, not at least from your back. But you're asking the strength of the leg to push against the arm and the arm to pull against the leg, which is exactly what we do in standing Padagonstasana, what we're going to continue to explore probably to the end of this week. Go ahead, bring the leg down. Slide the block under the right thigh one last time, or at least laying down. Push your right thigh down into the block. Leg nice and long. Pull the left knee to the chest. Take the right hand and grab a hold of the left foot. Right hand. Right hand grabs a hold of the left foot. Left hand grabs a hold of the knee. Pick the shin bone up so the foot is about the foot and left shin or the height of the left knee. So you're not at a total deep bend of the knee. Pull the shin bone to the chest with the arm, stretching the left hip, while you push the right thigh down into the block until you flatten the thing. Continue to pull the left shin towards the chest. Work the right thigh down. Working the right thigh down, again, gives a little bit of strength to the core. So as you continue to pull the shin towards the body, best you can, pick your chest up towards the shin. Pick your head up, pick your shoulder up, and any degree that you flex the abdominals and pull on the legs so the chest and shin move towards each other, go for it. If you can wrap your arms around the leg now to help hold, go for it. But work that right thigh. That right leg is going to be the thing that holds you down. Don't bounce your leg, Jaya. Pin it and hold it. There you go. Now keep a hold of the leg with your right arm. Take your left hand and just place the palm of your hand on the back of your head. Pick up your chest, head any degree more, pulling with the right arm. And then slide your left hand behind your head towards your right shoulder. And then like you were going to grab the foot. That's the direction to go. So you got stages. If your hand touches your head and you're working hard and dying and your chest is up, that's okay. That's enough. If you want to move the elbow behind the head so the hand's grown for the shoulder, great. You want to try and grab the big toe, great. Those are all the stages it goes through. But lift from your core to be able to draw your upper back. Once you draw from your upper back forward, then your arm moves better. That's eventually how the hand goes around and grabs the big toe. Now for a moment, hold it for just 10 more seconds. For the next 5, stop pushing your thigh into the block and just feel what difference happens. Notice how you start tilting, gripping happens elsewhere. Now push the thigh back down into the block and re-engage the core, the back, and everything into the pose fully together. One adjustment changes everything. Some things that are catalysts for change for us change everything. Even a small adjustment, pay attention. All right, relax. Switch legs. Left thigh on the block, pull the right knee to the chest, take the shin across the abdomen, sternum, grab a hold of the foot with the hand, hand with the knee, pull the shin towards the body. Remember, work the left leg more so that when we flex the chest, your leg and your The leg's going to stay in it. So when you lift your core up, that'll help pull your chest. But enjoy the hip stretch right now. Feel how this change is, what is it making you feel in the body? Not just in the stretchy part of your hip you might not have known about, or you do, but haven't fully changed yet. But where else is it making you feel something? Where else are you now aware of your body that you weren't aware of earlier? Shin bone, knee, hip, thigh, ankle. There's a new level of awareness there. Now, can you keep being aware of that? Mr. Anger would say, now, good, you've learned how to be aware of it. Can you be aware of it off the mat? Let's add to that awareness. Pick your head up, chest up, pulling your shin to your chest up towards your shin. Grab your leg. Pull the body up. And then if you can wrap the arms around the leg, go for it. Wrapping the elbow around the foot, elbow around the knee. And then, if you want more, keep working that left thigh. Take the right hand behind your head, taking the palm to the back of the head. And don't use the hand to push your head up. Just touch it there to keep you honest about how much you have to work the core to lift that right side of the body. Now the right arm isn't picking you up. You took the right arm out, you sank. Use your right core muscles to lift you up. Then if you want more, you slide your right hand towards your left shoulder. Then eventually you might grab that big toe, but you shouldn't be looking at your right shoulder when you pick up the toe. If your head's torqued because your arm is pushing your head because you're grabbing that little piggy before it goes to market, you're torquing your neck. Pick your core body up more and put your hand on your shoulder instead. If your head feels like it's turning, it's too much. I'm not going to ask you to unengage the left leg. I'm going to ask you to engage it more. So Julia, work more on your chest rather than grabbing your big toe there. Take your hand to your shoulder and then push. Lift those right ribs up. There you go. Focus that instead of your shoulder joint. It'll open, I promise. You're strong. Exhale, come on down. Go ahead, take the block out. Stand on up. You will need a chair and a block and a spot on a wall. So you're going to set your chair in front of you. If you do not like the back of your foot or Achilles pushing on metal, I would grab a blanket or something soft and put on top of it. You want the seat of the chair facing away from you. Tristan's getting a blanket for herself. Very smart. You're going to stand with your back to the wall. Your feet will be about a little less than 4 inches from the wall. Because you're going to take the block on edge. Remember this side, the long, narrow side here? Not this, but this. And you're going to put it right in your right thigh. So it's going to feel like your glute is resting on this block, but your right thigh is pushing this block into the wall and it never falls. Feet together. And now this is why your feet need to be a few inches from the wall, because if your heels are touching the wall and you put the block back there, it's going to push you over and you won't be able to do much. Your back, once your block is in place, take your hips and back off the wall. You should just be pushing the block into place and holding it. Stretch both arms straight up, arms above head. Lift up through the side body, Baddha Kodalasana. Push the right block, push the block into the wall. Feel the difference right side to left side, even though the left thigh does not have that block. While both feet are on the floor, because it act like it did, not by locking the knee, but using the thigh muscle. Feel the difference one side of your body to the other. Is the block helping you lift your rib cages? Is the catalyst of this feeling helping you find or learn anything new about you? Is what you're going through in your day helping you learn, enhance, enrich anything about you? It's really the question. Keep your right leg as it is. Try to keep your arms up. Pick your left knee up the height of your hip. About to lose the block? Feel where the pressure is on the block. How does your body want to tilt and lean now that the right leg is doing the greater work? Can you still lift your arms, lift your ribs, lift your body with some level of the same appreciability, even though one leg has to do the work of two? There will be some difference. There has to be. This is an asymmetrical pose. Keep the leg up, bring your arms down. Now try to put your left leg on the chair in front of you straight. If you have to come out and get the chair closed because I didn't specify, please do. Push the right thigh into the wall, left leg straight out on the chair, the back of the chair. Now fold forward, keeping the block where it is, and grab the top of the chair. And go bend your elbows and draw yourself towards your left thigh as best you can. Get that stretch to the hamstring hip. Now, look at your left foot. Is your left foot turned out? Is your left knee turned out? Don't let your left leg be unaware. Rotate it to center. One of the reasons Mr. Iyengar yoga is as precise as it is it was not about you have to learn all of these perfect little ways to do it right. That is a fallacy and a bad idea of what he offered. What it was about was if you can at least have rules in place for all of your body, you can at least have a basis from which to learn of yourself. You didn't know your left foot was turned out? How do you even be aware? This is not about you doing right. It's about you taking your awareness and taking it through all of your body. So no part of you feels like it's left out. No part of you doesn't have a role to play, because in real life, we all have that role to play. We all have things to do. We all have things we believe in. So none of you should be unaware of you. And oh my God, why is he going to talk so much? This pose sucks. Fine, bring your left leg down. Place the block behind your left thigh. So when you find yourself struggling in these things and you're not sure, don't worry about being right. And don't think every adjustment we as teachers offer is about you not being right. I think the deeper things that Mr. Iyengar was trying to get to is, can you be aware of you? Because you're the only thing you end up controlling in this world. Push that left thigh in the block, stretch up both arms, palms facing in, or Hastasana. Test each side. Feel what's going on each side of the body versus the other. Feel how the left ribs lift maybe differently than the right ribs. They feel stronger, more stable. Is there a difference between your right and left shoulders feeling of effort? You can even test it a little bit by not pushing into the block as hard. Don't drop it, but just don't give it the full power. Pick your right knee up in front of you, knee the height of your hip. Did you fall backwards or forwards? How is this different than the other sides? The other side. You're leaning back. Your whole chest is back. Can't move out. Oh, that was this. Take your right leg up onto the chair if you can. Bring your arms down and try to take your leg up. And then fold forward, taking both hands onto the back of the chair. And where is your right leg? Even if you don't have a particular adjustment or teaching from a teacher of a special thing to do in a pose, how you ultimately learn to internalize this is, what can I do for this even though I don't have a specific teaching that is better for me? Can I have the bravery to explore that and trust, oh, this feels good? Okay. Then you go ask the teacher, and then you develop your own work. So even look at your right leg, rotate your thigh in. And then if you look at your big toe on your right foot for a moment, make a change to it that just is something you can keep focused on. Make a change to the placement of your big toe. So you are now aware of your big toe, maybe not in the same way as your right hamstring, right? Because if you cramp your big toe that much, it's not great. But you can still be aware of the feeling of it and what it's going through as much as your hamstring. Not the same type of awareness, but the same focus. Don't be afraid to use your senses, all of them. So don't close your eyes. Use your eyes to look at your body. Learn where it is in space. Learn how this poses. Take in all the information about how this is changing you. All right, come on down. Whew. Slide the block behind your right thigh. All right. Block behind your right thigh. Stretch up both arms. Baddha-Gulasana. There's Urdhva-Hastasana. Baddha-Gulasana is the interlace. Excuse me. Urdhva-Hastasana, lifting up through the side body. Pick up your left knee. Try to put your left leg up on the chair without your arms coming down, but see what it takes to do it. And if your arms come down, fine, but you at least learned, oh, my shoulders drop when I stretch my hamstring. What it's from doesn't matter as much in this moment, but you're learning that it happens. Then you get into my favorite part of why. Why did my arm drop when I lifted my leg? Or why did my hip cramp? Or whatever happened. Pushing too far forward on that side. Can't go back. There you go. Keep lifting up through the side body, stretching through that left leg. And now, so you feel that left leg, your right leg screaming. Can you create a movement, a catalyst of change in your left big toe and your thumbs that keeps your awareness across that left leg and the muscles that are working, but the parts that are not screaming? Can you start to stretch your awareness across all parts? Because you are making those awarenesses and adjustments. Good. Ready for fun? Bend the left knee slightly. Try not to fall forward. Try to pick your leg, just even try to like lift the left leg up, even just a little on its own strength. Just even see what it takes to start experimenting and finding your power. And can you ask your right leg to stay in it? Take your left leg down. Good job, everybody. Good job, Triz. Good. Switch legs. Both arms up. Urdhva-Hastasana, palms facing in, nice and tall. Pick up the right knee. Stretch the right leg up onto the chair. Try not to completely lose it. Keep that extension. Don't worry about falling back to the wall unless you're falling forward away from it. But work that leg into it so you can find new height. Now you're more or less centered. Stretch your awareness from the hamstring of the right leg to the big toe and even to the thumbs. Make a small adjustment, even if it's you curl your thumb slightly or stretch it a little more. Add something that keeps you aware of that point and the little change you made to it through all the others. The prop is doing a lot of work to help. So can you stay in your work with the help of this prop? And let your work also be about, can I feel more of me, even though right now parts of me are ready to revolt? Don't discount your hurt or the struggle you put in, nor do you hurt yourself. Always be willing to back off if you need to rest, because there's always more time. And plus, this goes on YouTube. You can just go back and do it again. All right. Bend your right knee slightly, just a little. Now lift the leg any degree. Start to experiment what it takes. and how your body reacts when you're asked to hold that leg weight. Come on down. Block behind your right thigh again. Go ahead, pull the chair. Yeah, pull your chair closer and put the block behind your thigh. So the chair is just a little less than a foot in front of your body. The seat of the chair is still facing away from you. Pick up your put your left shin up across the top part of the chair, top bar of the chair, like you were doing pigeon pose. If you cannot do this because your hip is tight, she's going to demo it right now. She made it. If your hip is too tight, it's okay to turn the chair around and go to a lower height. Push the right thigh into the block, fold forward, taking your hands down the bar of the chair to the seat of the chair if you want. Careful, the blankets are slick and your hips might move. If you can't go forward, I bet you standing up straight, pushing your thigh into the block will stretch your hip. Nice modification, Julia. Good use of bolster. You got this, Shuba. There you go, friend. You made it. Bar stools are some of the best props like to have. I'm not gonna lie, like those are using bar stools. Good for you. Huh? There's some good ones at IKEA. Tristan said. I don't know why you're promoting for them. They're not paying us. Stretch forward. Just gonna push the thigh into the block. Let your hip open. Good. Woohoo. Very nice. It's a comfy chai. You look very comfortable there. So your right hand either on the seat of the chair or grabbing the bar or wherever it is in space that can stabilize you, keep it there. So if your hand's on the seat of the chair, keep it flat. You can hold your chair leg. Take your left hand onto your left hip and twist, trying to roll the left ribs and shoulder towards the ceiling. And then once you take that twist, push the thigh into that block. Take your left hand towards the wall and up as high as it can go. Stretch your fingertips, stretch your shoulder to go up that wall, but don't let your right hand come off of the support you got. So you're still drawing the right side down towards the chair and twisting it. So move your back right ribs towards your front as your left side lifts up away from the chair. Get a nice little lateral hip to back thing going on here. How's that? Exhale, come on up. Let's go ahead and switch legs. Yeah. Well, it's because now the muscles that connect down to your calf have stretched from your hip all the way down. Tristan was just sharing that she felt a stretch all the way down into her standing leg calf, which, you know, when you stretch all of the back, hamstring, and hip muscle to that degree, you can relieve the calf just by standing. Right shin up on the chair, block behind your left foot. Fold forward. You can go down that chair as far as your hip and that block will allow. And or your blanket sliding on the back of your chair. Huh? All right. Left hand stays on the chair or whatever it is holding. Take the right hand back behind you onto the hip and then twist and then stretch that arm up that wall. High as you can go to open it. Don't lose that block. Because that block at the wall is going to tattle if you overly twist your pelvis or your low back or your hips to try and make up for a tight low back. It's okay to be aware of your tightness. It's okay to have tightness. Trust me, 20 years into this, certain things aren't tight. I have to really push it to stretch it. And that was very uncomfortable when I had to figure out, oh, eventually just gets better and I have to just pay attention to other things other than how hard I'm pushing. Oof, that was a moment. Don't worry about how your intensity goes or how deep it goes because you think you're not doing well, but see where your body is. Breathe into what your body's doing now. Use your 5 senses to kind of learn something new. And then if you find a part that you're not aware of, like what's happening to your right index finger or the skin of the back of your hands, put just even a flicker of attention there. As we all know, every pose our poses stretch us, move us, and make us aware of things we didn't know about our body before, even if it was, I didn't know I had a muscle there. God, how many times I said that in my time. But what that means is the body is rich with feeling. Your body is rich with life to feel. Even if it's the first, it's like, my hamstring's on fire. So put a flicker of awareness of the back of your hand so you're aware of it even in your hamstrings working. All right, down you go. Take the block out for a moment. No block. Your back and your feet do not touch the wall. Just put the block in the seat of the chair in front of you. Slide the chair away from you so your foot can go on it for Padagonstasana. No block. You get a break from the block for a minute. Thighs together, feet together. Put your right leg up on the chair in front of you. Start to already feel the difference now with or without the block. Is there more or less balance? Is there easier to pick the leg up or harder to pick the leg up? Stretch both arms straight up, full Padagonstasana, Urdhva Hastasana to Padagonstasana. And even though the block is not there, are you aware of the muscles that helped you hold the pose? Right. Bend your right knee. Try to take your right leg off the chair, but bend your right knee enough that you could pick the leg up and pull the foot over the chair and just try to just pull that leg into your chest as hard as you can by picking it up high and drawing it in. Tristan's doing pretty good. She's fallen into the wall, but that's what the wall's for. Put the foot on the floor. Tadasana, pick your left leg up, left leg on the chair. This is tricky. I'm asking for a very specific little thing here. Because it's not just how we kind of flip our leg up, but can we pick that thigh up and then pull that heel back? Can we control extension and lift? Arms up. Where's your right leg? Even though there's no block to tattle. If your eyes are looking off somewhere other than you, draw it back to you. Start by looking at your right foot, because I bet I'll find some of your feet are turned out to the side. All right, bend your left knee, but when you bend the knee, pick the knee up and just pull the thigh towards the body. Don't let the foot go below the chair if you can help it. Just how much can you bend the knee and pull the calf into the thigh bone without the knee going down? And then what does your body compensate to make that happen? Right knee bend, left knee bend. Try to straighten that right leg and then come down. Good. That's good. Go ahead and get rid of the chair. Set it off to the side. You'll probably still want to have a wall. Grab a yoga strap. back against the wall, heels just a couple inches away from the wall. But you want your glutes and your back to the wall. Take your strap, hook it around your right foot while the foot is on the floor. So when you're done, your strap's under your right foot, but both hands hold it, but your leg is straight. I want you to stand tall on your left leg and start to bend your right knee a little, and then pick up your right foot by pulling up on that rope as high as you can. So Tristan's did great there. She just bent her elbows, picked the leg up on the rope. So she's going to try and hold it there, and then she's going to take her hands closer to the foot on the rope. So her hands are somewhere near her shin. And then once you're there, once your hands are down that closer to the shin, I'll wait. Bend your elbows wide a little bit to pull the knee higher. Now keep your elbows that bent. Your hands are down here, your elbows are out. Roll your hands up slightly so your foot gets lifted. You're just rolling your hands up. You're not straightening or bending anymore. You're just picking your hands up while keeping that tightness on the strap. Now point your foot and push against that strap as hard as you can. Don't let your elbows overcompensate. Push against so there's a lift as best you got. Good. Good Padagonstasana, everybody. No chair. You don't need no chairs. If you're tired, great. You're working hard. Ready for the fun part? Try to flex the left thigh, left glute, left back. Come off the wall for a moment while holding the leg. Lean forward into your imbalance. Come away from safety and daringly go forward. So you're from the wall, just lean into it. And bend your elbows again because most of you straightened them. The leg must go up from the lift, the resistance of the arm to create that lift. Your hamstrings are part of it, but come on down. Let's do the other side. Start with your left foot flat on the floor with the strap under it. Your hands down the rope as far as it can go. The rope is tight against the foot. Standing up straight. Bend your elbows, pulling your hands up to your chest so your knee comes up. Pull it up as high as you can. And then walk your hands down the rope so your hands are just somewhere around your shin. Bend your elbows wider so the knee comes up to about its maximum for maybe this class. I want to say per individual. And now from there, pull up with the hands like you're going to lift the hands up high above your shoulder and pull that foot up. And then once your foot's up, point the foot, push against. Don't let your arms go. They are pulling back and up. Shake like a leaf in the wind. Very good, Shuba. Nice job. Pratima, wonderful. Brian, man, you're getting there. That foot's higher every day, Chaya. Ashwini, you're doing great. I can't see you, but you're here doing the work. Not to leave Tristan out. You got it. So he's very fashionable in yoga. She's working hard. All right, for the fun part, flex the glutes, flex the back, and come away from the wall. Ask all of your body, stretch all of your awareness throughout all of you. Even if you come off and you're like, oh, I'm done. My leg cramp, my hip cramp. It's all right. Don't worry, after Thursday, we won't do this pose for a while, I promise. Bring the leg down. Set your yoga strap to the side. Stand with your back to the wall. This is it, last thing, I promise. Then you can have rest. Thighs together, feet together in Tadasana. Feet are a few inches away from the wall, hips are against the wall. Pick your right knee up as high as you possibly can on its own power. Take both hands and grab a hold of your foot. When you grab a hold of the foot, move your back against the wall so your spine can lift. Bend your elbows wide to pull the leg up a little more. Back to the wall, push your back up. Don't let your back do the pose by trying to stay low. If you just held the pose here with your back flat against the wall, but pulling against that and your core lifting you, better pose. So now bend your elbows and pull your hands up so the foot has to lift, and just hold. Even if you're down here, this is better. You know, if you can hold leg down versus this longer, stay here. And try to work that left leg. Imagine the block was still there. Oh, we missed the block now. Trish says her hands are too sweaty. Everyone's with you. And then push the foot against the handle. Start testing the waters of extension and lift. Nothing is lifting that up except your arms. All right, come down. Woo. Let's do the left leg, call it good. Pick the left knee up, grab the foot. Good job, Pratama. You resting is important. Good for you. Good students know when the line's done. Very good student. Pick that left foot up. Bend the elbows. Push your back against the wall, not just your low back, but try to lift your upper back into it. And just hold. Work the standing leg as if the block was there. Notice how much you're trying to use your neck. But can you lift your spine from the front of the spine up? And even though the back is not perfectly flat, because nothing is, it is trying to lift you rather than just hold a rounded fall. Lift the hands a little bit by lifting the elbows and hands up. Start to test what height is. And then lastly, push the foot against the hand and start to experiment with length, but never descent. It's length that leads to lift. Because the arms are always lifting, the leg is pushing against the resistance of the lift of the arm. It has to go up. Come on down. Have a seat on the floor on your yoga mat. Stretch both legs wide into seated straddle. Grab a yoga block, place it behind you on edge, and just push your hands into it and lift. Just work here for a moment. Your shoulders did a lot, your back did a lot. Your legs are just, give your legs 50% of effort. Just make sure your toes are up, your knees are up, and there's just a little bit of flex. They're not passive, but they're not at their maximum. Just go 50% and work more on what can you lift the body up by letting your hands push down and your shoulders come away from your neck. Don't even worry about making this massively hard. Make it slightly a step before restorative, where you're just trying to kind of find easier lift and easier breathing in the body. For all the hard work you did, trying to breathe while doing all of that, give yourself a moment of, oh, I can soften my breath, I can be in my body, work is starting to end. And you don't just go from like most intense to cold turkey. Sometimes you got to step down. And you'll know when here in a moment. I mean, we'll be here for a few more seconds, but you'll feel it when there's things start to let go, when you're not just relaxing physically, but there's a decompression of your breathing. May has less sound, maybe not as drying on your mouth, right? Use your senses to pick up what you're putting out. And remember what I've said about in pranayama, the breath is the radar of the inner body and self. If If it's going on in you, your breathing's telling you. Good. Take the hands off the block. Lay on your back. Enjoy Savasana for a few moments. It's really yoga with dog. Very distracting. All right, friends. What were the catalysts for you? Right? Just as at the start of class, we sat for a couple minutes, reduced our senses. We're in a quiet space, hopefully. Eyes are closed. And you looked back on the catalysts or the things today that made you change in some way. I mean, we could get really esoteric and talk about even the acknowledgement of the passage of time, but go for the big ones again. Be aware of those, be aware of the medium-sized ones and then the tiny ones. But then be aware of what happened in class here today. Even though I was asking you to do these things, ultimately you're in control. The only person that controls you is you. And you took the chance, you had the trust to apply new things to you to learn from them. So what did you learn, friends? What did the catalyst of the pose teach you about you? And then will you remember the feelings in your body? Will you remember that there's muscle and skin and that you should pay attention to those even when doing something like buying groceries, walking your dog, or whatever? Because the awareness you develop now is not only for now. The knowledge that your hamstrings are tight or your armpit stretches weird or your balance is really good or you've got really nice thigh strength or whatever doesn't just stay on the yoga mat. It comes off the mat. Because not only with the awareness of you, but how those things that are true about you apply into the world and how the world affects those parts of you. So ultimately, regardless of what comes our way, we can act upon it with knowledge, clarity. In a way that even after it's done, you may not be able to say, I did it the right way, but I did it in a good way. Rest, my friends, for a moment or two more and enjoy the fruits of your yogic practice. Bring the demon. All the pets are here. Slowly increase the depths of your breathing. Begin to awaken the body, opening and closing the hands, pointing, flexing the feet. Bend your knees to the body. Roll to your right side. Slowly up you come. Until we meet again, namaste.